Straight ahead on 12 News, a one-two punch to the Terrace Theater. Then a court-ordered stoppage, the latest on the demolition drama. Then it's not supposed to be like this, the water woes that have halted golfers in Maple Grove. And later, two guys who gave up the corporate world to find their happy place.
There's very few people in a bad mood coming to get their donut.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. The saga of the Terrace Theater took a dramatic turn over the weekend.
After sitting vacant for the past 17 years, demolition crews began tearing down the Robbinsdale landmark.
But as Delane Cleveland reports, minutes after the process began, a judge halted demolition with the stroke of a pen.
It was a sight that many people thought they'd never witness. Robbinsdale's historic Terrace Theater up close and personal with a machine intent on knocking it to the ground.
And we are very excited that finally progress can happen.
That was a sentiment shared by many who turned this Saturday afternoon event into a spectator sport.
I've lived in Robbinsdale for 15 years and it's been empty, and really the prospect of anything actually happening is important to me. Hy-Vee would be fantastic.
Not so fantastic for the group Friends of the Terrace, who want this historic building saved. It's why they filed an appeal to halt demolition late last week. But with a hearing not scheduled until October 10th, attorneys asked the court to grant a stay.
With the judge sitting here telling them that she was signing an order, they went forward and ripped a hole in the side of the theater.
After the judge signed the order, demolition crews stopped their work on the building and turned their attention to the parking lot. But the pause could be short-lived.
We got an order halting the demolition until at least 4:30 on Monday. We've filed an appeal to the Minnesota Court of Appeals, and they haven't had a chance to rule on it.
Even with its fate temporarily up in the air, people were ready to look toward the future.
Really, anything happening at this corner would be great. It's been sitting empty for so long.
I think there's a sentiment of relief with people who are anxious for something, anything positive to be happening on this corner.
Meanwhile, if attorneys for Friends of the Terrace don't hear from the Minnesota Court of Appeals or Hennepin County Judge Michael Brown by 4:30 today, then crews can proceed with demolition. In Robbinsdale, Delane Cleveland, 12 News. Mike and Alex.
All right, Delane, thank you. In Maple Grove, our record rainfall last week has caused all sorts of problems at the Rush Creek Golf Course.
Today, a boat was used to access certain parts of the course. We have more on the water woes from 12 News reporter Eric Nelson.
Once the rains came, we had to shut down.
Rush Creek is now Rush Lake. Last week's epic rains took a toll on the golf course, and it is closed indefinitely.
I've been here since we opened in '96, and we've had a couple days where maybe we had to close down because of some water or some rain, but nothing like this. This is unprecedented for us.
This is hole number 12, and this is normally part of the fairway, but there's so much rainwater on the course, you would need a boat to get to the green. For Rush Creek, this was the imperfect storm.
To lose it now and around the Ryder Cup time is another blow for us.
The course was poised to cash in on the Ryder Cup. Golf fanatics from 24 states and a few countries were ready to flock to Rush Creek to play there during Ryder Cup week.
Our course was in really good shape, and we were lined up and ready to go. So unfortunately, this is about as bad a timing as you can get.
But because of the flooding, Rush Creek will lose tens of thousands in lost greens fees and restoration costs. However, the course has weathered storms in the past, and officials are not daunted by last week's record rainfall.
We'll come back. You know, we've come back from a lot of things out here. We lost 60 trees earlier than in July.
In Maple Grove, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
Meantime, delays and detours will greet traffic along County Road 81 in Brooklyn Park. On Monday, the ramps to and from Interstate 94 were closed, and they will remain closed for the next 6 weeks. The closures will allow time to reconstruct the ramps. The work is part of County Road 81 reconstruction between 63rd Avenue and West Broadway.
Well, this weekend, people in Crystal worked up a sweat by running for Rocco. The second annual Run for Rocco took place to raise money for the city's police canine. Rocco assists in dozens of arrests throughout the year. To Crystal police, fundraisers like this are a huge deal.
We're a smaller organization that doesn't have the funds that could support a canine, and we really have done a great job with him over the last 4 years since he's been with our organization. It's imperative, not just for the officer's safety, but for the community as well to have a canine.
Crystal Police Chief says the run would raise about $2,000 to $3,000. The money will help pay for things that Rocco needs, like training equipment and a bulletproof vest.
Meanwhile, the Crystal Police Department is looking for men and women to join their volunteer reserve force. Tim Simon is a volunteer reserve officer who has served with Crystal Police for 8 years. Simon is working on his law enforcement degree and says being a volunteer reserve officer has given him valuable experience.
You kind of have to have an interest in law enforcement somewhat, but I mean, if you really care about your community, especially the one you live in, it's a lot easier with somebody who works and lives in the same city, because you take pride in it, you take pride in your own city.
Reserve officers are not sworn-in officers. They handle issues like parking complaints, animal complaints, and direct traffic during city events. The Crystal Police Department is hoping to fill 12 vacancies.
In Robbinsdale, you will find part playground, part amusement park. Triangle Park has become a destination park that is for the city after a high-tech upgrade. It replaces playground equipment that had been there for more than 20 years. The new equipment has built-in computers that feature games testing your agility, memory, and speed. Since the park reopened, kids have been there from sun-up until sundown.
Basically allows a number of different games that kids can play, so it's an interactive playground equipment versus just your, kind of standing alone swing and slide. So it's been a lot of fun. As you can see, the kids, there's a lot of different games and they can play together and have competitive games and just do something different.
Robbinsdale got a $25,000 youth sports grant from Hennepin County to help pay for the new equipment. Coming up, a Golden Valley sweet spot that's turning into a sweet reward for the owners.
And then later in sports, a special evening at Osseo High School as a dozen former Oriole athletes are honored.
But first, our taste of crisp fall weather continues. Tuesday will be breezy and brisk. In recent years, trendy donut shops have come on the scene with some fancy ingredients.
In Golden Valley, there's a shop that's been around for nearly 30 years, and it's surging in popularity with classic donuts. In this week's Business Matters, we meet the new owners turning this longtime bakery into a sweet spot.
Okay, here for you.
It's a little after 6:30 on a Friday morning, and there's a line out the door at Valley Pastries.
Anything else for you?
Customers come to this spot for the classics, glazed and frosted. First time here?
No, not at all. Not even the first time this week, so.
They have the best donuts that I've ever had.
A taste for good donuts is why the two friends behind the counter, Alex Loosbrock and Michael Getty, traded in their corporate jobs last year to buy this nearly 30-year-old family-run donut shop and its recipes.
Talking to the wives talking to the wives is tough, but we essentially cashed in our 401k. You know, we took out our 401k and bought a business.
But with the risk comes reward.
There's very few people in a bad mood coming to get their donut.
Sales are up more than 30% as the new owners freshened up the shop's look and put the word out on social media.
I kind of want to coin the phrase donuts the way you remember them. That donut that you had when you were a kid in your grandpa and grandma's small little town, that, just the taste, it's just so good and it's so fresh.
Hey Mike, hey man, how you doing? Good, man.
There's a small town feel too. Customers are on a first name basis.
There's one difference with guys. They like you to know what their donut is and kind of, I can pull it out and have it ready. With a female, you never let them know that you know what their donut is. You let them tell you, because once they know, then they think they're coming in here too much.
That's right.
It's our little secret.
Carmen Mull likes to buy donuts for her co-workers, while customer Mike Mothershed isn't interested in sharing.
This is what you call a guilty pleasure. You come and buy donuts just for yourself. I'm not sharing my donuts with those people.
Running a donut shop isn't all a cakewalk, yet on the toughest of days, these two corporate world transplants remind each other they've landed a pretty sweet new gig.
Because we went from jockeying a desk, sitting on conference calls and dealing with really, really big corporate problems to it's donuts. They're $1 a piece. We either have them or we don't, and it's really simple. So we love the simplicity of it. Yeah.
And Valley Pastries also sells made-from-scratch cookies. Those run for between 50 and 75 cents.
Oh, it gets more complicated with the cookies.
Mainly donuts, but some good cookies over there,
great,
too. Yeah. Coming up, 12 News prize winners revealed for those at Plymouth on Parade.
But first, highlights from the mega meet in cross country. John Jacobson with that and more coming up next. Big weekend for runners, some big cross-country meets over the weekend.
A lot of runners converging on a couple of different places, and really a fun day, I think, for a lot of high school cross-country runners. Many of our local schools Saturday took part in one of 3 big cross-country meets across the state, and there were some good performances turned in by local athletes as well. The 46th annual Milaca Mega Meet, billed as the nation's largest high school meet, and they were off and running in the 4A girls race. Mallory Stack of Prior Lake races to the win in time of 19 minutes, 2.19 seconds, and the Lakers win the team title as well. Top local finishers are Maple Grove teammates Ava Lanou and Jenna Hawk. They placed 21st and 22nd, respectively. The finish area a little soggy as the boys hit the course. Blake's Michael Mitchell races to the win in the Class 2A race. In the boys 4A race, the inflatable finish line marker collapses as Alex Miley of Maple Grove wins the race. He got under okay. His teammate Justin Breakup finishes 12th. Here's a look at the final team scores from Milaca. Stillwater wins the boys Class 4A race. Centennial second, Maple Grove third. Osseo finishes 20th and Champlain Park 24th. Prior Lake takes the 4A girls ahead of Minot and Stillwater. Maple Grove is the top local squad in 7th place, and Osseo is 17th. Madeline Kelly of Providence Academy took second in the Class A race. At the big Griak Invitational at the U of M, Wayzata races to the boys' gold title ahead of teams from California, Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. The Trojans' Khalid Hussein finished 4th overall, with the Trojans placing 5 runners in the top 28. Hopkins boys are 13th. The Royals' Seth Eliason finished 3rd. Armstrong is 39th. Champlain Park was 11th in the Maroon division. Edina takes the girls' gold title with Mountain View, Idaho, 2nd. Wayzata had a strong showing. They placed 5th overall, and Hopkins came in 23rd. And here's how deep Wayzata's boys program is. Another group of Trojans runners won the Apple Valley Invitational. Nip Kerbershine of the Trojans wins the race. Fargo North, Eastview, Eden Prairie, and Apple Valley round out the top 5. Osseo rallied to beat Totino-Grace in a thriller of the state football semifinals on their way to the Class 6A title last fall. Now, those teams were matched up last Friday night on Osseo's home field. Osseo creates a turnover. Grace's Kyle Halverson throws, and it's picked off on a diving grab by Johnson Fala. The Orioles will get on the board first. Martellus Hughes gets it in for the short touchdown, and Osseo's up 7-0. It's pretty much all Grace from there, though. Ivan Burlak with a tough run for the Eagles, breaking tackles on his way to a 27-yard scoring run. Grace evens up the game at 7-7. Totino's defense gets the next one. The pressure is on, and the sack forces a fumble. Cameron White scoops it up, and he's gone. That return touchdown puts Grace in the lead for good at 14-7. Still in the first half, Halverson getting great protection here. Will find Gayflor Flomo for a touchdown pass. Totino-Grace pulls away and beats Osseo 36-7. At halftime of that game, 12 new inductees into the Osseo Athletic Hall of Fame were honored. New members are Dick Afton, Heather Anderson, Scott Clark, brothers Darren and David Drogemuller, Jessica Feeblecorn, Larry Hoff, Jack Leedens, Chad Mortensen, Dennis Stieg, and the late Warner Huss and Mike Price. It was a special night for the new Hall of Famers.
I was extremely surprised. You know, this is epitome for coaching, and I played at Osseo. My kids played at Osseo, so on, grandchildren. So this is really festive for me. This is a topper, that's for sure. and then to see some of my former players and former students coming in with me, the Drunkenmullers and Feeblecorn and so on. It's just a treat.
Such an honor, so humbling. I came through Osseo at a time when there were just amazing athletes, and so before and after me as well, and it's a very humbling thing. Very honored to be here.
Great athletic history at that school. A nice honor for those 12 individuals.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, John. Today we begin to hear from candidates running for 3 positions on the Robbinsdale School Board.
This is Andrea Bejarano Robinson's second try. She also ran in 2014. Aaron Carlson is a marketing analyst, and this is his first try as a candidate.
Hello, my name is Andrea Bejarano Robinson, and I am running for Robbinsdale Area School Board. I work hard to break down barriers because I understand firsthand as a Latino woman with a disability that all voices need to be heard to build a strong community. My husband Scott and I bought our house a little over 5 years ago in New Hope. We have 4 boys. Our children have benefited from early childhood family education, early childhood special education, Great Start preschool, Spanish immersion, gifted and talented services, and a 504 plan. So with my extensive background, I am very invested, experienced, and understanding candidate. Please vote for Andrea Bejarano Robinson for Robbinsdale Area School Board. You may need to turn the ballot over to find the school board.
Hi, I'm Aaron Carlson, a candidate for Robbinsdale Area School Board. I work in Plymouth and have lived here since 2004. I am the proud parent of an 8th grader and a 3rd grader in the district. For the past 4 years, our district has spent over $800 million. If you stacked it, it would stretch almost to St. Cloud. During the same 4-year period, our district could not get more than 50% of kids to grade level reading proficiency. Math proficiency plummeted to under 40% this year. At last report, 30% of students residing in our district are choosing an education outside of our district. The current board and administration have been unable to move the bar. It's time for fresh ideas. Please consider me for your vote November 8th and find out more at aaroncarlsonforschoolboard.com.
On Tuesday, 2 more Robbinsdale School Board candidates. Still ahead, views of Plymouth that come with a smile.
We'll be right back. And finally, on a rainy, cloudy weekend, we found plenty of sunshine in Plymouth at Plymouth on Parade.
Started out a little bit cool on Saturday when we even saw some people covered up in blankets, but that didn't stop the selfie takers. Look at this. There were more than 30 selfies emailed to Channel 12 for the Put Me on TV drawing. These 3 pictures were chosen at random, and the people you see will get a prize package worth more than $50. Many other photos can be seen as part of our parade coverage, which replays again tonight. It's Monday night at 7, and again Thursday and Sunday at 10 a.m. So everybody, thanks for sending in your selfies, being part of the show.
Looks like they're having a good time
Yeah,
out there.
they are. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again Tuesday starting at 4.